You work hard. You struggle, yet no one listens to you. No one respects you. No one truly takes you seriously. Listen closely. The biggest mistake most people make about power is thinking it comes from truth. It does not. Power comes from perception. I learned this not from books but in courts, in palaces, and among the ruins of men who believed honesty would shield them. People do not follow reality. They follow what they believe is real. You may be intelligent, disciplined, skilled, and virtuous, yet if the world cannot see these qualities, they might as well not exist. Hidden strength is the same as weakness. Unseen value is treated as nothing. I have watched men of little ability command attention simply because they looked commanding. I have seen capable men remain invisible because they appeared ordinary. The difference was never substance. It was appearance. Perception is the currency through which power moves. When people see you, they judge your worth before you speak. They measure your authority before you act. They determine your importance not by your bank account, but by the signals you give. And once that judgment is made, it becomes difficult, often impossible, to change. This is why rulers wear symbols of wealth. This is why thrones are high. This is why palaces are grand, even when the treasury is thin. People must see power before they obey it. A man who appears valuable forces others to pause. Pause creates respect. Respect creates influence. Remember this, the human mind is lazy. It seeks shortcuts. It does not look deeply. It judges fast. It decides based on surface, tone, posture, confidence, and visible markers of value. Those who know this rule control those who do not. If you appear scarce, you are treated as disposable. If you appear abundant, you are treated as valuable. This is not arrogance, it is positioning. When you dress like you belong in powerful places, people assume you do. When you speak as if your time is precious, people fear wasting it. When you move as if you have options, others compete to be chosen by you. Power begins before action. It starts in the mind of the observer. A prince does not wait to prove strength after rebellion begins. He shows it beforehand, so rebellion never grows. Likewise, you must project value before the world decides you lack it. Many believe humility earns respect. This is a comforting lie, told to keep the obedient silent. Humility earns exploitation. Visibility earns authority. The world respects what appears rare, costly, and difficult to access. It ignores what looks common, cheap, and eager. When you understate yourself, the world does not thank you, it takes advantage. When you hide ambition, others step over you. When you appear inexpensive, you invite dismissal. I tell you this not to corrupt you, but to prepare you. People do not ask what you are worth. They infer it from your clothes, your silence, your boundaries, your refusal to chase approval, your willingness to walk away. These are signals. Signals shape perception. Perception is not deception, it is strategy. A ruler who seems weak invites attack, even if he is strong. A ruler who seems strong deters attack, even if he is weak. In both cases, perception decides the outcome before reality intervenes. The same applies to you. If you look uncertain, people doubt you. If you look cheap, they negotiate you down. If you look desperate, they delay you. If you appear confident and valuable, they adjust around you. This is why those who master perception rise faster than those who master skill alone. Skill without perception is labor. Perception without skill is manipulation. But perception first opens the door for skill to walk through. Never forget, people believe what they repeatedly see. If every encounter with you reinforces value, authority, and composure, the world will respond accordingly. Do not wait to become powerful to look powerful. That is backward. Looking powerful is how power arrives. I have seen nations fall because their leaders appeared weak. I have seen men rise because they looked untouchable long before they were. The world does not reward what is hidden. It rewards what is displayed. Money is not power because of what it buys. Money is power because of what it signals. Those who think wealth exists only to satisfy needs think like merchants, not rulers. A ruler knows that wealth speaks long before it is spent. When a man is seen with resources, others assume he has options. When a man has options, he cannot be cornered. And a man who cannot be cornered commands respect without asking for it. I have seen this truth repeatedly. Two men may hold the same gold, yet only one is feared. Why? Because one hides his wealth, while the other allows it to be seen just enough to shape perception. Visibility turns money from a private asset into a public weapon. People do not measure wealth by numbers, they measure it with symbols. A man who seems able to spend freely appears secure. Security builds confidence. Confidence builds authority. Authority invites cooperation, obedience, and alliance. This chain begins not with money itself, but with the message money sends. This is why the appearance of wealth often matters more than reality. A hidden treasury does nothing for reputation. Unseen gold inspires no loyalty, but controlled display creates belief, and belief governs behavior. Those who deny this are usually those who suffer from it. Observe how people treat someone they believe is wealthy. They listen more carefully. They negotiate differently. They offer better opportunities. They forgive mistakes more easily. They assume competence. Before proof. Wealth acts as social armor, shielding doubt before it forms. Now consider the opposite. A man seen as poor must prove everything. His ideas are questioned. His confidence is seen as arrogance. His ambition is called unrealistic, not because he lacks value, but because his signals show limitation. This is why wealth is never neutral. It changes social dynamics the moment it is perceived. I do not advise reckless spending. That is the error of fools. I advise strategic signaling. The wise understand that every visible expense sends a message. Spend where it counts, hold back where it does not. A prince who refuses to display wealth seems unstable. Allies doubt him, enemies test him, his people lose faith. Even if finances are solid, lack of visible abundance breeds suspicion. The same law governs modern life. If you look constrained, others assume you lack leverage. If you look comfortable, they assume you have alternatives. Alternatives are power. Wealth, therefore, is not just survival, it is a language of dominance. Those fluent in it rarely need to speak loudly. People often say money should be private. That advice benefits those already powerful. Visibility challenges hierarchies. Those at the top know the value of signaling and want to keep others blind to it. Notice how powerful people never appear uncertain about money. Even in crisis, they project stability because instability invites challenge. Money calms fears before it solves problems. When people think you can afford patience, they rush to please. When they think you cannot afford delay, they exploit urgency. This belief comes not from your account, but from how you present yourself. Never underestimate how quickly people sense scarcity. Scarcity creates pressure. Pressure weakens posture. Weak posture invites domination. Wealth, signaled correctly, removes pressure from your image, even if pressure exists behind the curtain. This is why successful men often invest first in appearance, not out of vanity, but calculation. They know perception opens doors that effort alone cannot. A man who looks expensive seems selective. Selectivity creates desire. Desire gives him control. Control defines the outcome. Money's greatest power is psychological. It changes how others act toward you without a word. It sets the tone of every interaction. It defines who leads and who follows before negotiation begins. Do not confuse this with greed. Greed hoards. Strategy displays. I have seen rulers survive empty coffers because their image remained intact. I have seen rulers fall with full treasuries because their wealth failed to reassure. In both cases, results were decided by belief, not balance. People align with perceived winners. Wealth signals winning. Once people believe you are winning, they help you keep winning. Once they believe you are losing, they distance themselves. This shift happens silently, guided by appearances. If you want respect, know that money is not silent. Even unspoken, it communicates. Every choice either strengthens or weakens the signal. Every interaction reinforces or erodes belief. Every visible detail contributes to the story others tell themselves about you. Pay attention. Authority is rarely seized by force. It is usually granted by perception, and perception is shaped not by excess, but by control. Uncontrolled display is vulgar. No display at all is invisible. Authority exists in the space between extremes. I have seen men spend recklessly and lose respect. I have seen men spend nothing and be ignored. The key is not the amount you spend, but the discipline with which it is shown. Controlled display signals that you are intentional. Intention implies intelligence. Intelligence suggests leadership. Leadership earns obedience. A man who flaunts everything shows insecurity. A man who hides everything shows fear. But a man who reveals selectively appears composed, deliberate, and strong. Authority comes when others believe you first control yourself. In courts and councils, rulers did not wear gold at all times. They wore it when it mattered. They withheld it when it did not. This taught observers that their favor was rare and chosen. Scarcity creates value. Control creates scarcity. When people see that you decide when and how to show your resources, they assume you could do more but do not need to. That assumption elevates you. It separates you from those who crave attention and those who avoid it. Attention should never be begged for. It should be directed. Controlled display is not about impressing everyone. It is about signaling to the right people. Authority is never equal. It is hierarchical. You do not need universal admiration. You need strategic acknowledgement. When you enter a room appearing refined but not desperate, present but not loud, people sense balance. Balance suggests power. A ruler who constantly indulges invites contempt. A ruler who constantly restrains invites doubt. But one who indulges occasionally and deliberately maintains mystery. Mystery protects authority. People fear what they cannot fully read. They respect what they cannot easily reach. Controlled display keeps others guessing about your limits. If they cannot see how much you have, they assume you have more. True authority never overshares. Oversharing reduces perceived depth. Silence implies reserves. Your restraint becomes your reputation. In every era, those who command authority understand timing. They show strength in challenges. They show generosity in loyalty. They show luxury in judgment. Each display reinforces a specific story. Without control, display is noise. With control, it becomes a message. A man who wears his finest clothes all the time cheapens them. A man who reserves them for important moments elevates them. The same object, different effect. Authority is not made by objects, it is made by context. Context is power. When people link your presence to quality, precision, and intent, they defer without being asked. Deference is the purest form of authority because it is voluntary. No command is stronger than the one unspoken. Controlled display teaches others how to treat you. It sets boundaries. It communicates standards without explanation. Those without authority explain themselves. Those with authority let others adjust. Every visible choice teaches the world what you accept. Tolerate cheapness in presentation, and you receive cheap respect. Maintain high standards in what you reveal, and others rise to meet them or step aside. Authority simplifies interactions. People either align or retreat. Restraint is not humility. Humility lowers posture. Restraint elevates it. One invites pity, the other invites curiosity. Leaders who controlled their image lasted longer than those who relied only on force. Force exhausts. Authority conserves. Where authority exists, effort decreases. Where it is absent, effort multiplies. Controlled display is an investment. It reduces friction. It reduces resistance. It shapes expectation and prevents conflict. People rarely challenge those above them. Controlled display quietly places you above challenge. Never rush to prove yourself. Proof is only demanded by those without authority. Let selective signals speak. Reveal everything, and you leave nothing to imagine. Reveal nothing, and you leave nothing to respect. Authority exists where imagination fills the gap between what is seen and what is withheld. The most powerful men I know were neither the loudest nor the most extravagant. They were the most deliberate. Every appearance felt chosen. Every display felt earned. Every absence felt intentional. Others adjusted around them. Their tone softened. Their demands lessened. Their behavior changed. That is authority. Controlled display is not about wealth. It is about command. Wealth is only a tool. Control is the conductor. Once others see that you direct the image instead of reacting, they respond as if you direct outcomes as well. Lack of money can be fixed. Loss of image is often fatal before correction is possible. Coins may return. Reputation rarely does. I have seen men survive empty treasuries but never survive being perceived as powerless. Poverty of image is when others believe you have no leverage. When that belief exists, they behave without restraint. They interrupt, delay, dismiss, and negotiate harder. They take liberties they would not take with someone respected. This is not cruelty, it is instinct. Men press where stance is weakest. Image is the first line of defense. A man with little money but strong image is treated carefully. A man with wealth but weak image is treated recklessly. Between the two, only one maintains control. The world is not divided by rich and poor. It is divided by those who command perception and those who submit to it. Look powerless, and people feel safe testing you. Look limited, and they feel entitled to extract more. Look desperate, and they feel justified in exploiting you. Poverty of image signals need. Need repels respect. Present cheap, and you invite cheap treatment. Accept less in appearance and others offer fewer opportunities. Over time, this compounds into isolation. Many believe honesty will save them. They display struggle hoping for sympathy. Sympathy does not build alliances, it builds distance. People align with strength, not struggle. A ruler who publicly admits weakness receives challenges, not mercy. A man who broadcasts limitation receives avoidance, not opportunity. Image must be protected even when resources are thin. I do not advise lies, I advise discipline. You do not owe the world your vulnerability. Vulnerability is currency best spent privately. Those who show hardship publicly lose authority. Those who manage image retain dignity and negotiating power. Look how differently people treat rising versus declining men. The rising receive patience, benefit of doubt, and help. The declining receive silence, distance, and replacement. Difference is rarely reality, it is perception. Poverty of image signals stagnation. Stagnation invites abandonment. Many capable men never advance because they signal limitation before it exists. They dress for survival, speak from scarcity, move with apology. Others sense it and adjust downward. Once adjustment happens, reversal is difficult. Image is momentum. Lose it and you fight gravity. Leaders lose influence not because of money, but because they lose composure. When confidence cracks publicly, alliances weaken, respect thins, authority fades. This law applies at all levels. Belief in struggle reduces responsibility entrusted to you. Belief in stability increases it. Trust grants access. Access creates advancement. You cannot climb while signaling collapse. Even in poverty, image can remain intact. History proves it. Exiled princes preserved dignity and returned. Impoverished nobles maintained status through restraint and control of appearance. Those who surrendered image never recovered. Image does not need excess, it needs consistency, cleanliness, order, confidence, control. These cost less than humiliation, return far more. Maintain image in hardship and you earn silent respect. Abandon it and erosion begins. The world respects those who respect themselves under pressure. Poverty of coin forces adaptation. Poverty of image removes options. Once fear of your absence vanishes, presence loses value. Once respect for your standards fades, opportunities vanish. Erosion starts with presentation during difficulty. Appear unaffected and resilience is assumed. Resilience attracts allies. Allies create leverage. Leverage creates recovery. Appear overwhelmed and others withdraw. This is survival behavior, not kindness or cruelty. Never let outward image show panic. Panic spreads. Composure commands. Men follow those who seem able to endure. Your image is a shield. Lose it, and every blow lands harder. This is why the poor often remain poor, while the powerful recover from collapse. The powerful guard perception even when reality breaks. The poor surrender perception immediately and lose both.